Atkins was among those at today's cabinet meeting. On a short visit to the province, he'd met senior officials and called on the whole community to help bring terrorists to justice. Sir Derek Rayner, Joint Managing Director of Marks & Spencer, is to advise the Prime Minister on improving efficiency in government. The job is part-time and unpaid. The cost of raw materials to manufacturers was up by 4.5% last month, a big rise because of higher oil charges. The latest wholesale price index also shows factory gate prices up by 0.75%. An increasing number of school children have been sent home today because of further industrial action by teachers over their pay claim. One union has asked the new Education Secretary, Mr. Mark Carlisle, to review their pay scale, and they hope that the government will intervene shortly in the dispute. Abroad now, and rebels in the Central American Republic of El Salvador are still holding the French ambassador prisoner in his own embassy after the ambassador from Costa Rica to El Salvador fooled them into letting him and his staff go. The two embassies in the capital, San Salvador, are only a few hundred yards apart. But while the French embassy was closely guarded, newsmen outside the Costa Rican embassy were able to talk to the ambassador while he was still a prisoner there. Ambassador Julio Valverde had been held for 4 days by guerrillas who wanted the release of 5 political prisoners, although the government of El Salvador insists there are no prisoners. Later, the rebels accepted the ambassador's invitation to dinner, but when they'd sat down, police let the other 4 hostages out. Then the ambassador told his guards he was going for wine and walked free. The 3 guerrillas are still inside. The London Metropolitan Police Force is 150 years old this year. To mark the occasion, the force has put on a special exhibition at the Museum of London, and Francis Coverdale went along.
In 1829, when Sir Robert Peel formed the Metropolitan Police Force, it was a hanging offence to pickpocket more than a shilling. Things have changed a bit since then, as the exhibition shows. There are examples of old and new in police uniforms and law enforcement aids, all of them securely behind glass panels just in case. A mock-up of an 1830s police office, all genuine articles which have been kept and treasured by the police. And a separate section on the arrival of women in the force, scoffed at by the cartoonists, but invaluable when it came to dealing with women and children. Then there's the rather more macabre, but to the public probably the most fascinating side of police work. The spade with which Dr. Crippen buried his wife's body, and the telegram telling of his arrest. And some exhibits from the Black Museum, normally not shown to the public, like the ketchup bottle with the fingerprints that led to the capture of the great train robbers. The police describe it as an exhibition designed for adults, but they will take round groups of school children over the age of 11.
And now for the main points of the news once again, with subtitles for the hard of hearing. At least 10 people have died in a fire at a Woolworths store in Piccadilly in the centre of Manchester. 250 shoppers were estimated to be inside the 4-storey building when the fire started in the second-floor furnishing department. At the Old Bailey, the trial began today of the former Liberal leader, Mr. Jeremy Thorpe, and 3 others on charges of conspiracy to murder. Mr. Thorpe and the others, Mr. George Deakin, Mr. David Holmes, and Mr. John Le Mesurier, have all pleaded not guilty. The jury was sworn in this morning and has been told to report back tomorrow morning, while the rest of today was taken up with legal submissions. Mrs. Thatcher's new ministers are settling into their new offices and attended their first cabinet meeting this afternoon. It's reported to have been an informal meeting, with the Prime Minister outlining her aims and ambitions for the new government. The new Northern Ireland Secretary says the efforts to bring the violent men in the province to justice will not be relaxed. Mr. Humphrey Atkins was speaking in Belfast after a brief overnight visit for discussions with security chiefs before returning to London. The alleged West German terrorist Astrid Proll has failed in her attempt in the High Court to prove her British citizenship. A judge in the family division has ruled that her marriage to a London man was valid in law, but refused to grant a declaration to that effect. He said if he did so, it could be argued that Proll could not be extradited to face charges in Germany. And that's the news early this evening. We're due back with the late news on 2 at 10 to 11.
Now on to the latest weather forecast from Bill Giles. Good evening to you. Well, it looks like being a very wet evening over northern parts of England, but as that low pressure area gets out into the North Sea, so with the northerly winds tucking in behind it, this whole cloud and rain belt on the front will work its way southwards, the rain clearing from northern England through the night, and then most northern districts a pretty cold night with a widespread frost. But let's look at the chart for midday tomorrow, and you can see that cold front coming down into southeastern parts of the country with some northerly winds tucking in behind it. So as far as tomorrow's concerned, it's going to be colder than today. Over central and southern parts, a good deal cloudier too. There will be some rain about. This rain edging its way southwards as we go through the day, eventually getting down into the Channel Islands. But during the afternoon, I think becoming drier and brighter through South Wales, the Midlands and East Anglia. All northern districts look like having a pretty cold and a showery day. Some sunshine, but some pretty heavy and wintry showers about. And then over the next few days, we're staying on the cold side with a widespread frost at night, but for the most part dry, but with a hint of northeasterly in the wind. I think there will be some wintry showers on that eastern coast. That's it. Very good night to you.
Later tonight on 2, we begin a new series of Brass Tacks. The first programme debates possible health problems arising out of modern factory farming. It shouldn't happen to a pig, in Brass Tacks at 8:10. Now on 2, we meet Mervyn Jones, who, as a dealer in almost anything, is making a bob or two.
Come on, man. Walk on. There's the girl.
Take a steady, Tim. Don't sweat her up. I want her looking her best for these people, you know.